Hi, everyone. I'm Carli.
And I'm Sophia.
And this is Away She Goes, a podcast from girls who travel.
Each episode will help you feed your wanderlust with travel tips, stories, inspiration, and more. Away she goes.
Hi, everybody. Sophia and I are back officially for season 2 of Away She Goes. I'm sure many of you by now have listened to the episode that I recorded with Alex from G Adventures a few weeks ago, but fear not, we're back. No more waiting. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. We're finally back.
Yes.
So
it's
what
been
we
too
figured,
long.
I know it's been too long. We both had just hectic schedules and everything around the holidays. So we both decided that for our own mental health, we were going to take a quick break. But we're back, and we figured for our first episode back, I think it would be good if we just kind of update our listeners on our travels. We've both been very busy. We both have a lot of trips coming up. So we'll just kind of give everybody a brief overview of what we've been up to, what we're going to be up to, and for the podcast, what is kind of coming up in this next segment of episodes.
Sounds good. So, Carli, why don't you start us off since you've done some more moving? Like, that makes how many times that you moved since we started the podcast? 3, I think.
This was the 4th time I moved since we started the podcast.
Yep. Goodness.
Mm-hmm. This is it for a while. We're done. We're settled in. We're not doing it anymore. So, yes, I moved again. I moved closer to where I grew up. So I'm closer to family, working on saving some money. I got a job at a bigger university that has kind of been a goal for me for a long time. So settled into that. I'm mostly remote now, which is exciting. So that's been really cool to get to stay home with my dog some more and that kind of thing. So yes, I moved again. I'm done now. No more. But yeah, moving and new job are kind of my 2 big life updates since, when was it? Since like October-ish when we stopped recording.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing big really happened for me since then.
You didn't move 4 times?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't even move a single time since then.
Okay. Good. Perfect.
No, like I picked up a new hobby. I picked up like surfing a bit more serious again because like against popular belief, you can surf in Germany. I've gone once. And I meet regularly with a group of crazy people, and we went like paddle training in a swimming pool. And now apparently, since we're going to have our big time shift for daylight savings, it's going to be light again in the evenings. So we're going to paddle outdoors.
Oh, so you guys haven't had your time change.
Rivers. No, we haven't.
See, ours was at the time of recording. By the time this comes out, you will have had it.
Yeah.
Ours was, I think, last weekend from when we're recording.
Yeah, ours is next weekend.
Okay, so we're a little bit apart. Interesting. Yeah, I hate that. That sounds like such a fun hobby. I am terribly like not coordinated, so I can barely stand on my own 2 feet on like solid ground. So the thought of either surfing or paddleboarding. I've never actually tried paddleboarding, but I just know that it would not go well.
Paddleboarding I actually find a bit easier because you just have to balance standing kind of, and then you can put movement into it. But surfing, especially cold water surfing, I've done it before. Like it's how I started surfing. And still, every time I'm running into problems with the gear. Like I'm wearing a 5mm wetsuit and like gloves and then a separate vest with a hood and boots and like you don't have any mobility left in your body.
You're just like all
insane.
rigid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're like, how do I stand up now?
Yeah.
Lying down is very comfortable, but yeah. But it's fun.
I used to snowboard, so I kind of, I'm better at skiing, but I just still think paddleboarding would just be very entertaining to anybody who's around.
Oh, we have to go. When we meet, I love paddleboarding. I'll show you.
Okay. You're going to make fun of me, but all right.
No. We can start with like sitting down and then on your knees and then standing. And
everybody watch out. There will be some funny videos and pictures that we'll get out of this, I'm sure. So you obviously mentioned that you had done some cold water surfing. So why don't you update me and our listeners on what trips you've taken since we've last spoken to everybody?
Yeah. So until like maybe 5 hours ago, I was in Denmark.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Not that we're in the same country now. So
no. You're
Makes
back
it
home
seem more
now.
fun. Yeah, I'm back home in Germany. You might also hear my voice is still a bit raspy. I've just had a cold because apparently my body wasn't up for the cold water surfing, but I was. Yeah, I spent 2 weeks in Denmark working remotely from there. Taking some sick days because, well, I was sick, but also taking some vacation days to get some like surfing in. I only went into the water once, but it was still very, very much worth it. And otherwise, just spent some time in Denmark hiking, just walking my beach. Walking my beach. Good morning. It's been a long day. I've had a 4.5 hour drive here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's late there too. At least I still have daylight.
Yeah. I walked my dog on the beach every day. Well, when I was healthy. The other days, well, I didn't walk there. But yeah, it's been really great getting out of the city. And it wasn't even my first time in Denmark since we last spoke, because I went on a trip to Norway, which you might be wondering now, how is that connected? Well, I took the train back. So I flew out to Oslo because the train schedule was all weird. And then I took the train back through Sweden, visited an old friend who moved there recently. It was his first guest in his new house. And went back through Copenhagen. And I missed you by like a few weeks, I think.
I know. Yeah, I was in Copenhagen at the end of December.
Yeah, I was at the end of November because I was there for a concert, which is one of the weirder reasons to travel. But it was this Norwegian artist. If you're into pop music and you don't really, if you're someone that listens to the lyrics a lot and you don't want to listen to the lyrics and you don't speak Norwegian, Sondre Justad, which is spelled Sondre. Yeah, Justad. Yeah, that's it, I think. He's amazing. I love the lyrics are also very good, but only if you speak Norwegian.
Can't say that I do, unfortunately.
Otherwise, the melodies are very good as well.
What was your favorite thing that you did out of all three of those trips, if you had to pick?
Oh, that's tough. It must have been hiking in Oslo. I went on quite a few hikes outside of the city, just taking the bus to the last stop or something and going for a hike. And it was like cold weather. And then it started snowing when I was on the hike.
Perfect.
And I was really hoping for snow because like with climate change and the weather in Germany lately, I knew we weren't going to have a snowy Christmas. And I wanted snow. So
I hate the snow. I absolutely hate it.
I even had snow in Denmark.
I didn't have snow in Denmark at all.
Like,
I had wet, cold rain.
No, not in November. Like last week, I went surfing, and it was like there was snow on the beach, like Taylor Swift snow on the beach, and I was like, "Yep, let's go surfing. Perfect weather."
Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only song. The only reason I know that is because I love Lana Del Rey.
Ah, I see.
And when
I love Taylor Swift.
When I think of that song, I'm like, Taylor's probably thinking like oxymoron, snow on the beach. Lana's talking about cocaine. That kind of snow. So I'm like, they both were recording very different songs. But I know that song always cracks me up. So yeah, we missed each other in Copenhagen by about a month. I was there at the end of December. I went for just under a week between Christmas and New Year's. I had taken that week off of work, and typically I don't travel during that time because, as most of you probably know, it is very expensive. But I had the time. Busy. Yep, I had the time, and I was like, you know what? When I thought about it, I had taken the time off, and then I was like, I don't want to just sit at home for this week. And then I booked a very expensive flight, so I went to Denmark. I was in Copenhagen. From there, I took a day trip to Sweden where I went to Lund and Malmö. So that was my end of December trip. I was in Copenhagen for New Year's Eve. I flew out, I think, New Year's morning. I was very tired that day. There was not much sleep with the fireworks. That was the end of December. At the beginning of December, I actually spent a week in Bermuda, which was a lot of fun too. So I did 2 big trips 2 weeks apart. Right before a big move and during the holidays.
Wow. Yep. How are you still alive?
I don't know. I wasn't
by the end. Stressful.
By the end of the second one, I was burnt. I was definitely a little burnt out. Yeah.
It sounds like you need like another trip to Bermuda just to have like a beach vacation.
Yeah. And Bermuda too, it was interesting. Bermuda's not as far south as the rest of the Caribbean. So when I was there, it was definitely much warmer and sunnier than what I'm used to in upstate New York in December. But it was well, yeah.
like that's a very, very nice way of putting it. I love the way you're phrasing it. Like it was like a little bit warmer, just like
Well, it was okay.
a
So
few degrees Fahrenheit.
it was like 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is definitely warmer than here, but also like kind of too cold to actually be swimming. And I went swimming anyway. Did I freeze my ass off?
That's the spirit.
Did I freeze my ass off? Yes, I
bet you did.
Did I swim every single day? Yes, I did.
Nice.
One lady at one point, because there were a few people there. It was not very crowded because it's not super hot. It's their off season. So I was in the water and some lady walked by me on the beach and said in the thickest, like Southern US accent I have ever heard in my life, "Y'all must be from the north if you're swimming in that water." And she was giving me like judgy eyes. And I said, yes, I said, I am from the north. And she's like, oh, where are you from? And I always specify that I'm from upstate New York, because if you just say New York, people think you're from New York City, which I'm not.
Yeah.
So I always specify upstate New York. And she goes, oh, so Southern Canada. And I was like, she's like, no wonder you're swimming. And then she just walked away. And I was like, bye. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I'm being judged, but I don't care. I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So those were my we were on a break trips. We'll throw some friends in here.
Yeah, so what's coming next? We already heard in the last episode that you're going to Portugal.
I am going to Portugal.
And knowing you very well, I don't even have to say, tell me more about that. You will do that anyways, but I'll grant you the question. Tell us more about that.
So I am going on a trip in May. Girls Who Travel is partnering with G Adventures, and we are throwing a trip only for other Girls Who Travel members. So it's a really unique opportunity. It's the first time we've ever done something like this where, going on a group trip is one thing, but now everybody who's going on this trip knows the only people on this trip are members of Girls Who Travel already. So you know that you're traveling with like-minded people. I'm the Girls Who Travel team lead. So I've kind of been spearheading this entire initiative. I'm the one, if any of our listeners are people on the trip, I'm the one that's reaching out to you most of the time with updates and things that you have to do. So I'll kind of be like the mom of the group, so to speak, while we're there, and just kind of make sure that everybody's having a good time. I'm kind of the point of contact, the go-to, the representative for Girls Who Travel. So I will be doing that in May. I'm very excited. My mom's actually coming with me. Nice. We actually have another mother-daughter duo as well. I mentioned that, I think, to Alex in that recording. My mom and I are the first of two mother-daughter duos going on the trip. So we're, very excited about that. So that's in May for a week. And then right when I get back, like a week after I get back from Portugal, my mom and I are flying out to San Francisco for a wedding. So we'll meet with my brother in San Francisco, and we're going to a family friend's wedding then. Oh, my voice is cracked. And I just confirmed today I will be going to Dubai sometime in October.
Nice.
I talked to one of my friends, and we're working on planning a trip. I might also be going to Pakistan as well. I'm not 100% on that yet, but definitely Dubai, possibly Pakistan a little bit as well. And then at some point I'd like to go to Los Angeles and visit my brother. So all of it, those are my upcoming trips for now. I'm sure you also have a lot planned as well.
Yeah, well, you know me. I have some plans, and then I have some more broader ideas.
Yeah.
Like what I have lined up is going to London for music again, for a festival where bands is playing an anniversary show. They're actually broken up, so it's a one-time thing.
Oh.
Well, actually two times. It's the festival has multiple tour dates, so to say. But yeah, it's worth a trip, I think. I'm going with some friends from uni, so it's going to be fun. I hope.
It's going to be fun.
But yeah, that's the only concrete. I have the tickets. I have the hotel booked and stuff. I have the festival tickets as well. I was planning to go to Sweden again for Midsummer this year with a friend, but that's probably not going to happen because, what do you do in Sweden in Midsummer? You go hiking, you go swimming. What do you not want to be having as a woman or someone with a uterus when you're swimming?
Your monthly friend.
Yes, your period, because that's no fun.
No, it's not.
So let me foreshadow an episode that we'll soon be talking about, which is traveling with a uterus. Mm-hmm. To get your tips about how to make the best of a bad deal. But she was like, no, not having any of that.
You're not going to Midsummer this year?
No. Because I was mostly going because I thought it would be a fun trip together. Like I've been in Sweden for Midsummer, so I've done it. But yeah, might go on a canoe trip down a river, like my friend and former guest Annie, who went on a packraft bike trip at a different river, and like a way different trip. So just a canoe, no bike. Or I might go on a van trip with my boyfriend to see the RoboCup, which is robot soccer.
That sounds so cool. What?
Yeah. Well, that's a big maybe, because I might also just go on a van trip again by myself through Norway, because let's just face it, Norway is amazing, especially for van travel. And I miss the country. I miss the stuff. I miss the amazing vegan, Frankfurter sausages that they have.
Norway was actually almost where I went instead of Copenhagen. It was it was this close. I, in typical Carli fashion, was just like, I'll go anywhere. And I knew...
Let's see where flights are cheap there.
That's exactly what I did. I turned on incognito mode and went punching into Google Flights and was like, okay, what can I find that's not horrible? And the flight to Oslo, and I even though I'm not from New York City, I typically fly out of New York City. I do have a friend that lives in New Jersey, so I can usually stay with her, be near the airports that I'm going in and out of. So the only reason I didn't do the Oslo trip was because it was on a budget airline that only flew a few times a week. It wasn't a daily flight. And when the flight landed in New York City on New Year's Eve at 9 p.m.
Oh yeah, no.
Nope. And that's why I was I do not want to be anywhere near New York City on New Year's Eve, because then I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get an Uber back to my friend's house, which on New Year's Eve at that time is going to cost me
more than the flight.
Exactly. Didn't want to drive myself because I don't like driving on New Year's Eve, because
it's going to be
drink
insane.
and drive, and there's police everywhere. So I just, and then I'm like, okay, and now even if I go back to my friend's house and sleep, now I have to drive upstate on New Year's Day when everybody else and their mother is also driving upstate. So that when I thought about, I'm not as impulsive as I used to be. Old Carli would have just booked that and then been like, oh crap, now I'm in trouble. But no, I decided that was not going to work for me. So I went to Copenhagen instead.
Yeah, that was a very wise decision, I'd say.
It was would have been Oslo if it wasn't Copenhagen. That was my first runner up.
So let's talk a little bit about... See, I haven't done this in a while.
I know, it's been a while. We got to take the training wheels off here.
We have to do the Sharpay exercise, mouth exercises to warm up next time. Because I'll totally leave this in and editing.
That's fine.
Yeah, what's ahead for Away She Goes next? Let's talk about that a little bit.
So as Sophia mentioned, traveling with a uterus, that's something that we've wanted to talk about for a long time. We're having a really great guest come on.
I'm so excited.
That'll be the next episode that comes out after this one. So stay tuned. A couple weeks from when you're listening to this, a new episode will come out. We're going to talk about, like Sophia said, just kind of how to navigate traveling while pregnant, traveling while you have your period, traveling with menopause, that kind of thing. So all of kind of the different facets that come with that. Definitely stay tuned. We're hoping to do more with G Adventures, potentially have some more group trips in the future. Nothing set in stone yet.
So yeah, and we hope to have some more interesting topics and some very, very cool guests in the future.
We're very excited.
Yep, we have some nice things lined up there. So yeah, or if you want to be a guest or suggest a guest or suggest any topics that you have in mind, feel free to reach out. All the details will be in the outro.
And finally, definitely some new destinations as well. Some of my favorite episodes are our destination episodes that we record, because I love learning about new places. So between the places we've been, Sophia and I have actually been joking. We now have been to two of the same places, being Denmark and Sweden. So now we actually can work together on destination episodes instead of just one of us explaining to the other, at least for those two places.
Yes.
We can actually both collaborate on a destination, but definitely some more destinations that only Sophia has been to, some that only I have been to, and then those few that we actually have combined now too.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Also, a little heads up, there are currently no more segments of What the Bleep or Snack Attack. That's just because we felt like we'll try something else in season 2, which is no segments.
We're going to see what happens. That's all for this episode. If you'd like more Away She Goes in your life, make sure to stop by girlswhotravel.org/podcast. That's where you can fill out a form if you're interested in being a guest on the show. You can also write to us at awayshegosgwt@gmail.com or leave us a message on our Google voicemail from any phone or computer at 1-563-503-6323. To follow our adventures, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Carli Sees the World. Carli is spelled Carli.
You can also follow me at Sophia AEZ, Sophia with a PH. Away She Goes is part of Girls Who Travel, a community dedicated to radically redefining travel to be inclusive, sustainable, and empowering. You can learn more about GWT, find travel tips and support, shop travel-themed items made by GWT members, and join our Facebook group with nearly 100,000 women all around the world at girlswhotravel.org. We can't wait to connect and explore with you. Away she goes.